Okay, so this week's lesson in critical thinking, um, I appreciated quite a bit because it got to um, the practical side um, and the application of what critical thinking can do for us. Um, so up till now it's been the process and the habits that we need to form and the biases we need to break in our own minds. And so now we're at the practical, part of it. And I like reading, and it's true that in order to help ourselves and help the rest of the world, we have to have this pattern of thinking and listening. So um, it's a practice, it's a habit, and Dr. Cooper's mentioned this several times, but I thought it was the section on why people are confused about ethics was especially interesting to me. Um, Mostly, the line where it talks about, most of us wouldn't consciously go against ethics. Most of us do not, unless we're a sociopath, purposely avoid ethical actions um, or do purposely perform unethical actions. But he also says, few dedicate their lives to helping those most in need of help, to seeking the common good and not merely their own self-interest and egocentric pleasures. And that's true. Most of us do go about our daily lives not thinking about what we can do to help others. Um, there are more, I meet people every day who have dedicated their lives to helping others. I think people who are raising children, um, you know, you rarely think of yourselves, when that's your focus in your daily life. Maybe it's still somewhat egocentric if you're, because your children are an extension of yourself, but um, your own needs at that point don't really matter. Um, there are people, that work in the medical field. There are people, I just find that most of us really are trying to help others in some fashion. Um, that said, I think there are many of us who are damaged from things that have happened in our lives that really can't think outside ourselves and think of others. I don't think it's necessarily that we're, spoiled or arrogant or any of those things. I think just there are just a lot of us that are damaged enough that we can't think outside ourselves to help others on a daily basis. Um, and going through the process of critical thinking, I think would help a lot of those people understand that you truly do have to think outside yourself too. Um, and helping others does help yourself in the process. So, and then the other, and kind of going along with that, but the other line in that same section was um, that really stood out to me was, what is more, humans are too skilled in the art of self-deception for mere verbal agreement on abstract ethical principles to translate into the reality of an ethically just world. So that kind of goes in line with the same thought that we do fool ourselves into thinking that we are, the way we're living our lives is the right way. And in order to justify that, we have to defend it either verbally or within our own minds. We often have to justify it to others, but um, and it is an art, and it is I've heard people call, very rarely do adults have, um, especially in my age group, have come to Jesus moments where we think, oh my gosh, I've been doing that my whole life and thinking that way my whole life, and I've been lying to myself this whole time. I mean, it's just, it doesn't happen. And so again, this process can be very helpful to some of us and help heal not only our own, issues and problems that we have, but maybe make us better people in order to go on and help other people. So, again, the practicality of this week's lesson was appreciated, and thanks for listening.